Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Reaction Review Episode 3. What happened last time?
Last time, Dio was once again up to no good, trying to poison Jojo's dad out of pure pettiness. He's just...
I feel like you're using the word petty pretty loosely when it comes to Dio. He has a grand master plan.
I guess I suppose.
And he has he wants something grand. He wants the whole estate.
Yeah, but he wants it for he's...
For petty reasons, you were gonna say? I don't think anything that he's doing could be considered petty necessarily. I mean, some things, yes, but I feel like you're just using that as a term to describe how shitty he is.
Okay, anyway, Dio is just being an asshole yet again.
You're trying to say he's an asshole by calling him petty?
Sometimes he is kind of petty, though.
Sometimes he is petty.
Anyway, Jojo was able to stop him, potentially. Well, he was able to get some hard evidence against him. And they're coming up to a confrontation. Dio has discovered vampires, apparently. And last time, if you want to know my thoughts on that and what I think Dio's plan might be moving forward, you can go watch our last discussion, because I talked a lot about what I think he's gonna do next. But we will see this time if I was right, or what he's gonna do, or how. I'm sure they're gonna have a fight of some kind, and how that's gonna go.
Well, only one way to find out. That's watch more Jojo. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction and review to this episode of Jojo. If you did, or if you do, hope you leave a like on the video and subscribe for future stuff and to let us know that you enjoy it. And if you just can't wait for the next video, you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/BOLDcast, where you can get the uncut reaction of this episode, previous episodes, and of Naruto, and a bunch of other cool stuff, as well as get an early, get a 1 week ahead on this show and on Naruto and a bunch of other cool stuff. So early and exclusive reactions over there as well. But more than anything, we hope you enjoy, and we're going to get into this after I tell you this is not market substitute. Support the official release. You can watch on Crunchyroll, you can watch on Netflix, you can buy the manga, you can buy merchandise, a bunch of cool stuff that you can do to make sure you support this, because this is just our reaction and our review. This is our thoughts on the series. This is not a free way to watch the show at all. We don't edit it for that purpose. We don't post these for that purpose. We post this to give you our reaction and review, and we encourage you to support the official release elsewhere. So, with all that said, we hope you enjoy our reaction review to this episode of Jojo. Let's go.
I like those clouds.
I love that start, because it has it starts with the most recent part of Jojo and characters and everything, and goes back to part 1.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you see part 6, which is Jolene, and then Giorno, and etc. etc.
Jojo, 勝手だけど頼みがある。最後の頼みなんだ。僕に時間をくれないか。警察に自首する時間を。意外。似てると警戒していたが。ジョジョ。君あの日民外から戻るとは。やるしかない。ぶっ殺してやる。僕は悔いているんだ。
I fucking doubt it.
取ってしまったんだ。
No.
バカなことをしでかしたよ。もらった恩人に毒を持ってザイて。その証に自首するために戻ってきたんだよ。逃亡しようと思えば外国でもどこへ。確かに罪の償いがしたいんだ。ディオ、気をつけろ。信じるなよ、そいつの。
スピードワゴン。
させてもらうがよ。俺はおせっかい焼きのスピードワゴン。ロンドンのジョースターさんが心配なんでくっついてきた。ジョースターさん、アマちゃんのあんたが好きだから一つ教えてやるぜ。暗黒街で生き、いろんな悪党を見てきた。だから悪い人間といいのは匂いでわかる。こいつはあいつせ。
It's fucking shaking.
やったことがねえほどな。環境で悪人になっちゃうね。こいつは生まれついてのワルだ。この誰だろう。この東洋人が君に毒。話は聞いたよ。
Oh, damn.
The Razas are already there.
君には息子と同じくらいの無理だったが。父さん、まだ安静にしていないと。
寝室へ行って休むよ。息子が捕まるのを見たくはない。ジョジョ、あとは頼む。
はい。の男捕まりやせんよ。耳の3つのほくろに顔の奴は強運のもとに生まれついとる。
ジョジョ、せめて君の手で手錠をかけてほしい。
No
7年間の
thanks.
付き合い。
わかった。
No.
ジョースターさん、気をつけなせ。
少々人間ってのがあるな。俺が短い人生で学んだことは、人間は策を予期せぬ事態で策が崩れ去るってことだ。超えるものにならねばな。
Yeah.
何を言っている。
俺は人間をやめるぞ、ジョジョ。俺は人間を超越する。石亀、なぜ君が。ほらしろ、ジョジョ、お前の血でだ。これはどうだ。
If only you had done that slightly sooner. If you had, like, tie that bitch up and leave him in the sun.
父さん。
これを。指輪だ。
父さん。だがとんでもない。奴はバスの事故を幸い金品を漁っていた小ずるい悪党だったのだ。やべえ。
君、彼はこういう私からもらったと。
言いましたもとんでもない嘘をね。
彼に送ったものだ。
なんですって。
彼は無実だ。やってくれたわい。
なぜ。
This is some Les Mis action going on
Yeah.
right here.
同じことをしていたかもしれない。これを売って家族に何か買ってやってください。もう悪の人ではなく。
Literally Les Mis.
ジョースター卿は全てを知った上でディオを養子にしたのだ。
I think that's part of what makes it so good, is it like really harkens back to that whole shit.
Please don't hold this against Dio.
お前には厳しくしたが、ディオの気持ちからするとかえって不平等に感じたかもしれない。ディオはブランド氏のそばに葬ってやってくれ。
父さん。
悪くないぞ、ジョジョ。息子の腕の中で死んでいくと。
ジョースター卿。そのおしまいじゃ。違う。あの父親の精神は息子のジョナサに受け継いでいる。それは彼の強い意志、未来となるだろうぜ。普通の俺は自分が困るとすぐ泣き抜かすアマちゃんは大嫌いだがよ。違う。自分と
He's just so moved. This callous thug is like,
死体がディオブランドの体がない。さすの旦那、窓から離れろ。
Billy.
the pose.
こいつは生き返って何段階を食らったのに。気をつけろ。何か武器を持ってるに違いない。まさかこっちに向かってくるぞ。何しろ。ディオ、止まれ。ディオ。危険だ。ジョジョ、撃つんだ。
He couldn't do it.
は一体何者になってしまったんだ。ディオはもう人間じゃないのか。守るわよ。ああ、正直僕も怖い。だがディオ、気にさせちゃいけない。僕の責任だ。肩をつける。ジョースターさん、やめろ。殺されるだけだ。脳から人間の覚醒を引き出したに違いない。とするとディオを倒す可能性は。
Oh.
Fucking horrific.
Oh my god.
Jojo 限界があるのだよ。無駄な悪あがきはよせよな。出てこいよ。
Holy shit. Is the house just gonna burn down now?
Damn.
Oh my
still
god, that's
stuck
still
in
in
him. And with the arm he's using to pull himself up.
Well.
Oh, the palette swap on his eyes in here.
Jojo の脳裏には彼自身の青春が。ディオとの青春。これからその青春に決着をつけてやる。待って、やめて思ったんだ。やめろー。貴様、こんなことをよくも。もう何もない。全て失ったこの命以外は。この命も燃やし尽くそう。引き換えにってよ、君の力を振る。グッバイ、ジョジョ。ほんの一瞬だが、お前の覚悟には驚いたぞ。父親の死体と共に死ねて嬉し涙を流しな、マヌケ。俺は人間を超えた。フジはこの世を支配できる。ジョジョ、貴様。
Fuck. Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
両手の骨をめちゃめちゃに砕いたのに。よし、いいだろう。共に毛布の中へ飛び込んでやろう。どこの火力が強くても脱出できるぐらいの能力はある。父さん、最後の力を。叫ぶ。蹴った。壁を蹴った先には。
Oh.
守護神、試合の女神像。忘れていた。子供の頃からあった。侮っては圧力を。じゃじゃー。こんにジョースターさん。さあ、生きてるぞ。この人は勝ったんだ。
That was so fucking epic.
God damn, that was so good.
And that's the end, right?
Yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
What's bizarre was how short it was. I thought it was way longer than this.
After credits.
Looks rough. He did pretty much exactly what I thought he was gonna do, except he was way more reckless than I was anticipating.
Reckless how?
Like, he seemed to be assuming a lot about his power, given that he was like, these, no matter how hot the flames get, they can't hurt me. Mm-hmm. And turns out, although he was correct, he had nothing to base that off of.
He had him being set on fire and him being basically fine to base that off.
I guess, but, I mean, he
was literally on fire, and he was like, he didn't care. So I think he was assuming in a way, but he could also probably kind of feel. It's like,
yeah,
I could take it. It's like if you get hit, and you're like, oh, that wasn't even that bad. I could probably take a punch like 10 times stronger.
I guess
than
that's
that.
True.
That's
but
if you want, like, but yeah, he was assuming quite a bit.
But I mean, I guess
know that.
I guess the position that he was put in with like everyone sort of coming at him being like, yeah, Dio, I guess, you know, we kind of, now it's been brought to light that you actually, in fact, weren't that great of a guy, and you were trying to poison your adopted father who gave you everything. Yeah, okay, time's up, buddy, let's go to jail. And then he couldn't really have any way to get out. Like, what I was thinking is that maybe he wouldn't use the mask right away without fully knowing the extent of what it would be, but instead he jumped straight into that and was just like, I've always said humans are pathetic, despite never saying that before. Maybe he thought it.
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm sure he probably thought about it. He was just like, wow, everyone else sucks, I'm the best.
Yeah. I imagine he didn't really identify with, like, anyone around him, so.
That's true. It sucks that they didn't shoot him, like, 5 seconds
shoot
earlier.
Him! God damn it, what are you doing? He just stabbed this old man and had the time to put a mask on.
I feel like even before that, he was literally trying to murder someone, and then when he was, you know...
They didn't even have their weapons drawn.
That's true. But, I mean, if you're in the room with someone who, first of all, killed a dog, second of all...
They don't know that.
I guess they don't know that, but he did. Anyway.
They don't know that. But, like, they have no... The only thing is, like, this thing that he is admitting to and acting like...
I guess the real thing is that they don't pick up on his sketchiness.
Yeah, only Speedwagon does.
Yeah. And obviously Jojo, because Jojo saw it firsthand, like, his entire life. Mm. But I guess it just sucks because Dio's just such a believable guy, which actually makes him a perfect vampire. 100%. He's very charismatic.
Extremely.
Which is... I don't know if, you know, it's going to be amplified now that he's a vampire, or he just makes a good... Or, like... He just was very suitable for that transformation right there, because he turned into pretty much the closest supernatural being that his personality would most likely be associated to, which is very fitting for him. Obviously, he's still alive. That wasn't really a surprise.
Yeah.
Although it's interesting because I feel like what we just saw with it was like a movie. I feel like we just saw. It wasn't 2 hours long, and we only watched an hour's worth of content, but I feel like I just witnessed a full movie, and if it had ended, if it had been slightly longer, and if it had ended there, then I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
Is the really interesting part.
What's also interesting about that is you're not alone. The voice actor for Dio, who was, really praised for his performance here, he's really well respected for his performance as Dio. There's an interview of him saying, in his mind, Dio died here. In his mind, as far as his performance and, how he felt about it, he really attached to the character, but for him, Dio, this was the end of Dio. Which is interesting, considering that there's, a lot more to cover there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really, but it's really interesting hearing him talk about that, because he feels the same way. And after watching this, I kind of feel the same way too. Holy shit, that was such a good, fucking open and shut case of really well done shit. And I think, your thing about Jojo being super, no flaws, the perfect guy, and Dio being the worst motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah.
That's one thing that people, really criticize this part 1 for, because it was, the first introduction. Personally, I really like that, and I won't talk about this too much, but, I really like it, because as things, obviously things go along, as you know, it goes into the future, and things change, and there's different people. It's really, it makes sense that this, origin story is the most idyllic, it's
so black and white.
Yeah.
It's
like a creation.
He's right,
almost.
He's wrong.
It's the father, it has the 2 sons, the one good son, the one bad son. The bad son's trying to steal the inheritance, and, it's so basic and, the most, I don't know, the most basic human story of all time. And, everything about it is so,
it's just
I'm trying to find the right word for it. I can't right now, but it's
a very classic story.
Very classic. But it works so fucking well, and it really, the thing I love about part 1, especially rewatching it, is how well it, sets the stage and, the background and the lore for, a lot of stuff that carries into the future, and, really gives you an introduction into everything that's going on here, the whole world and everything. It's really cool. And this first 3 episodes especially. Yeah,
I don't know. It's really interesting. I know that there's way more, but I almost wish that was it. Because I don't know how to feel going forward of, what's going to I don't know. I guess what the thing is, I don't know, how the rest of this part is going to go. Because I feel like the story of their rivalry has been almost wrapped up, although it hasn't, because obviously Dio's not dead, and Jojo doesn't know that, so, obviously, it's not, but I don't know. I really liked what I've seen so far. I wrote down, Tanjiro, because I was thinking, Jojo, he's a lot like Tanjiro in that way of, he's just a good guy, and he's there's literal vampires coming at him, and he's just I feel kind of bad about killing you, but you're trying to harm other people, so I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So it's sort of the similar thing of, in Demon Slayer, it's every death is a tragedy because they were once human, and he can, identify that they were human, and they had the capacity to be a good person, but they are now a monster and need to be dealt with accordingly.
Yeah. I
thought that was kind of an interesting, I don't know, I just thought of that.
Yeah, and then Muzan is kind of like Dio as well. If you think about it, it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was some inspiration there, although this isn't a fresh take on this type of story, so...
Yeah,
but Jojo is extremely influential, more than, as much as anything in Japanese stuff. It even inspired Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people might not I guess. I can see people maybe not liking, this Jojo. as a character as much because he's just so good. And some people, I think a lot of people prefer a flawed protagonist because it's easier to relate to, and they can have more of an arc of overcoming whatever their flaw is, or learning to accept it, or, you know, doing something. But I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like it, especially for this story, because the way that they're doing it with like a little bit of narration, and it's not solely focused on him. It's not. In some ways, it is from his perspective, but it's more like we're watching the story. We're not watching his take on the story necessarily, which I like. And I think I think if the story was like purely from his point of view and purely his perspective, it might be a bit more noticeable for me that he's just so good, and like, how can someone be so good?
But we also get like equal parts of Dio's
exactly.
perspective. It's like both of their story.
It's both of them, and I don't know. The fact that he's so good isn't like, I do think I do think that some people are capable of being really good people, you know? I don't think it's like, oh, it is a little bit unrealistic maybe, but when you look at the way he grew up, who would he have to hate? Where would he, you know, get that from, I guess? Just like thinking about it in terms of that. I also wanted to talk, I just remembered that I wanted to talk about the dad a little bit more, because in the first video I said that he was just like classic parent not paying attention, just not really in it, and doesn't know what's going on. But then it turns out that he was actually just also a really nice guy. And also that Les Mis moment that I completely almost forgot about. Epic. Literally, I forget what that guy was, like a priest or something in Les Mis. For giving Jean Valjean the stuff that he stole. And like when the cops are like, did you, this guy says you give it to him, and I don't think you gave it to him. And then the guy's just like, if you haven't seen Les Mis, you should check it out. It's a classic piece of literature and a really great musical. And a great movie musical, actually. They did a really good job.
I loved it.
So, but anyway, in that, basically, I think he's a priest, I don't know. It's basically sets him on the right path, and he's just like, he steals from the church, and then when the law is there and is like, you know, this guy, he says that you gave him this stuff, and we're ready to take him back to his prison. He's gonna be sentenced probably for the rest of his life for doing this, and then the guy shows him mercy and is just like, no, I gave it to him. And to top it all off, here's these candlesticks that you forgot. Take these. And then he's just like... These,
like, nice silver candlesticks. Like, super expensive.
And and the nuns are just like, what the fuck is he doing? But he's just like, use this and be a better person.
Yeah.
Use this to not have to live the life that you've been living. And in Les Mis, he really takes that to heart and becomes really very, very honorable.
But in this,
no.
Not quite.
Not really. Not at all, in fact.
But no.
I just thought that was interesting, and it's interesting to see. I don't know if that maybe was inspired, because it seems very quite a similar situation.
When was Les Mis written?
A long time ago.
Because this is from the manga. I think is from the 80s.
No, like a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Like more than 100 years ago, I think.
For some reason, I thought it was...
Maybe not, I don't know.
I thought it was a Sondheim musical, am I wrong?
Yes, but also, it was written before that, it was by Victor Hugo.
Oh, okay.
It's quite old.
I don't know shit, but maybe then, perhaps. I'm not sure how well-read Araki was when he was, like, I don't know, in his early 20s, I think, when he started writing Jojo. I'm not sure how old he was. I'm not a huge historian when it comes to Jojo and a lot of things, but yeah, maybe.
I don't know, it's just an interesting situation, and interesting to see it go the other way, I suppose.
Alrighty.
But, yeah.
Oh.
But that was it. I was just sort of retracting my previous statements about the dad and saying that he was.
Did you actually think he was just fucking?
I was just like, why? How is he so blind and like not paying attention?
Because he is naive, like Jojo.
Yeah, and he's really willing to give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, like that's.
And actually, if you count that as like a character flaw, I guess Jojo is kind of flawed in that way. He's literally like about to put handcuffs on Dio when it's obviously a trap.
So we're looking to employ you in this position. What would you say are your biggest flaws? Well, I just care too much. Give people the benefit of the doubt.
I'm too nice.
Yes, I'm just too nice and understanding. Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. See you in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.